Oh, have you seen that? She pooped. This one will be all about Avicularias and much, much more. In last feeding video I showed you this beauty, this one. It is Caribana Versicolor, and I said that I will rehouse her because you see, she definitely outgrown this tiny enclosure and deserves a appropriate setup. So that's why I made this one for her. You see, this is actually my newest design, my newest Arborea enclosure design. It opens like this. You see, you have removable top lid with ventilation holes. It just slides in and out like all my other designs. It opens really nice and got these front ventilation holes that enables a cross ventilation. Dimensions are 30 by 25 by 25, and that should be like a standard for majority of arboreal species. For bigger species I got designed that it is 30 centimeters wide and 35 centimeters tall. I will also write how many inches that is. So as you see, I already made a background and also silicone this cork bark that will be a hide for a tarantula. I will spare you the details of how I made it because I made already plenty of videos that shows how to make backgrounds. I will just link one that shows the process. So if you are interested, you can check it out. But before we set this enclosure, since often I'm getting questions regarding Avicularias and Caribenas and how to keep them, I will also include a general care sheet that covers all Avicularias, Ybiraporas, Caribenas, just general care for them, how to care for slings and how to care for adults and semi-adults and all that good stuff. So next time I get that question, I can just link this video. If you're not familiar, recently there was a revision of Avicularia genus and a bunch of Avicularia species were removed into a separate genus. So that's why this used to be an Avicularia versicolor, but now it's Caribena versicolor. Same thing goes for Ybyrapora diversipes. It used to be Avicularia diversipes. Also another Caribena that used to be Avicularia, Caribena laeta, ex-Avicularia laeta. And the only Avicularia, that is still Avicularia that I have left is Avicularia purpurea, and this is the one. So yeah, technically this is the only Avicularia that I have left, and I used to have 3 different species. Funny how things change. Now, how to care for Avicularia. You will often find information that Avicularias are really hard to keep and that they need to keep like super moist with ton of cross ventilation, but that is in fact a myth, definitely a myth, because all of my slings, all of my Avicularia slings, I keep them the same as all other slings. Nothing is different. You see, this is the amount of ventilation that this one got. You see, that's all. And all I do, I keep the substrate slightly moist. Now, this is too moist because today I actually moist all the enclosures. It was that day. But I do it once a week. And the amount of ventilation that you have on the enclosure, it is enough if within a week you notice that the substrate is starting to get dry. That is like the general rule of thumb for sling keeping. That is what I do for all the slings. So nothing special. Moist substrate and just keep an eye on it. Now the best way to keep the sling. You see, I have them in these cups and they aren't really practical. I will show you now why. Avicularias and a lot of other arboreals obviously go up. So that means often you will find them, you see like this Ybyrapora diversipes, it is on top lid. So that means if you want to open it, to water it, to feed it, sometimes it will go outside and you will need to chase it, you see? Sometimes it will, oh, no it's not, no it will not stay, oh. And then you have the struggle of chasing them. But thankfully, unlike other tarantulas, these are fast, but they will do like a short bolts. They will just bolt and then you see stroll around slowly. So they aren't that hard to catch. Unlike some Opeo species that can just go on continuous bolt until they are like on a safe place. These guys are usually much cooler, so that's why when someone wants to start with some arboreal species, I always recommend some Avicularia or ex-Avicularia. Because they are awesome, you see. So this is the problem when you have top lid. Now when you want to get him inside, you will often have a trouble with that because he doesn't want that. He wants to be outside and go on a stroll. And then you have a struggle with trying to get him in. Go. Then you trick him, you point him up, he will go up, then you close the enclosure. That's why these enclosures aren't really that practical, but the ideal enclosure for Avicularia is just a second. This Ferrero Rocher enclosure. I already made a video, so I will link it to see how to make it. It is really simple and it's really effective because you see, you got front door opening, so even if tarantula goes up, and also what I forgot to say, they will often make like a tunnels on top, so every time you open the top lid, you will destroy their web tunnel. That is also why this enclosure is like ideal, because if it makes tunnel on top, you can just open it without any problem. You won't be destroying its web. So I recommend you to do this or something similar like that, with front opening, not top. Regarding the temperatures, this also applies for all tarantulas. I mean, at least great majority of tarantulas. Room temperature is fine. Rule of thumb is, if you are comfortable inside, tarantulas is okay. The warmer the better, of course. On higher temperature they will be more active and feed more and grow faster and also be faster in general, but they don't require any additional heating. If you have like 20 Celsius inside, it will be just fine. Even if the temperature drops during night, it's also okay for shorter period of time, of course. If you are living somewhere colder and you have really low temperatures inside of your apartment or inside of your house, then what I recommend, and that also applies for all other tarantulas, to have one like a cabinet that is closed with one heat mat inside. So that way that heat mat will heat the area inside and you keep all your enclosures inside of that cabinet. That's the best way. Or also if you have a router, for example, they get kind of hot, so you can put that inside of the cabinet and it will heat the area. You can be creative with it. Let me just show you the Caribena laeta. There it is. Really, Avicularias and ex-Avicularias, they're all awesome. And now I noticed that it doesn't have two legs. Where are your legs? It doesn't have all legs. Interesting. What happened with your legs? He will regrow them, but interesting. Go in. So that was a sling care. Now for semi-adults, adults, also you can already guess the same care like for any arboreal tarantula, like for Pezzotherias or Psammopeus. They're all kept the same. Arboreal enclosure with slightly moist substrate. That's all. What I like to do, I like to have a live plant inside. That way, just by watering and keeping the plant alive, you're adding enough humidity inside to make your tarantula happy. The roots are moist. So that plant will go inside, and also this Bromeliad. Now we need to set up the enclosure, and it will be basic, but like nice basic enclosure. You will see and figure it out. It really isn't that complicated. And it's basically like any enclosure where you have like a drainage. So if you want to see a more detailed video about the whole process, I recommend you to go and watch my build video of poison dart frog vivarium. The basic principle is the same, just the size is different. Let's go. It is all about layer. First layer, clay balls. They are the drainage layer. The purpose of a drainage layer is remove all the excess humidity, all the excess water that you put inside of the substrate, because you don't want your substrate to go soggy. You don't want to have a stale water inside. That's why you put a drainage layer in any build that include live plants or something like that. I mean, the enclosure can work without it, like my Psitala horrida, the assassin bugs. They don't have a drainage layer and it works, but I need to be extra careful on how much water I add to the enclosure. With drainage layer, you can't really go wrong, because if you add too much water, it will just go into drainage layer. So that way it will be all right. After the drainage layer is done, we need to add the substrate. And this is the mixture of, it's standard mixture, and I use it in all enclosures that got like high humidity and have live plants. It contains cocoa fiber, sphagnum moss, orchid barks, charcoal, and dry leaves. If you want more information about it, check the dart frog build video. I mean, the dart frog vivarium build video. I go into greater details there. So we add that substrate. I always do a little slope. Like on front you want a lower layer of substrate, and on back you want like a higher level of substrate. That adds more additional depth to your enclosure, at least visually. Now to plant the plants. It will be really interesting to see how the plant will develop, because Avicularia Caribena Versicolor webs a lot. So it will probably web this area. So we will see how the plant will like develop around that. I don't know. And now the Bromeliad. I will put this guy like here. And I think that I will just squeeze it like this and leave it like that because it is holding tightly inside, and after it will just develop small roots, so it will hold on the back. At least I hope so. Now what we need to add life to the substrate. So you know we have a cleanup crew. Those are the Springtails. These tiny little creatures will eat all the bad stuff, all the nasty stuff in the enclosure, like all the decaying matter, spider poop, all that nasty stuff. So they are essential part of naturalistic enclosure. There we go. Now the final touch. You know what it is. If you don't, try to guess. So did you guess? Leaf litter. Yeah, that's the main part that helps make any enclosure look more naturalistic. Because if you go to the forest and look what's on the ground, you will see probably a leaf litter. Also you can put them on weird spots because leaf litter is falling around, you know. Pretty good. Now regarding plants, this one, if you remember back like last year, I had a shipment of plants. It was from, can't remember the store, but I will write it down. I got a bunch of bromeliads and other plants for the enclosures from that store, and it was supposed to be for a certain project, paludarium project that I didn't really start, but I actually used almost all of those plants into other enclosure projects, so I will need to order more. But that's where this bromeliad is from. This one, on the other hand, that is something that I bought in a local store, and I'm not 100% sure if it is suitable for this kind of enclosure. I googled about it and it should be, but we will see how it will perform. The time will tell. We will see what Tarantula will think about it. Yeah, it is time to move her inside. Hello, sorry for bothering you, but I'm pretty sure that you feel a bit cramped inside. Oh, look at her. Such a pretty tarantula, I cannot believe. Don't bolt. Don't bolt. This is actually my first time handling her. Oh, she looks so awesome. So awesome. What do you think about that? Ugh, don't go there. Oh, have you seen that? She pooped. She pooped, but I hope you will see that on the video. And the funny thing is, last time I rehoused her into this enclosure, actually, she also pooped. And it was also during a video. You little poop machine. That is not cool. Wanna go in the enclosure? Oh! She jumped or fell. I'm not really sure what was that. But I guess she will now go inside on her own. Eye candy. What more can I say? Eye candy. So for all that are asking me, I want to get first arborea tarantula. Which one should I get? Definitely, if you don't have it, or if you don't have it in the collection. The real question should be why you don't have this species in your collection. That's the real question. But where did she pooped? I heard it land somewhere, but I can't see. Maybe it fell down, I can't see it. So, can you go inside now? Yeah. That's actually, no, that's the wrong way. She's so cute. I cannot believe. Ugh. Are you playing with me? There. But no. You don't like it? Oh, there's a cork bark. Yeah. This is a pretty sight, right? Do you like it? It's your new home. You can web however you like. You have a lot of space, but just don't trash that bromeliad, please. You have a corkbark for a reason. I like this setup, like a lot. I just hope that plant will succeed. That's my only concern. Well, that would be the end of this video. Let me know what you think about this setup. And look, she's once again on top. I made you such a nice enclosure and you just want to go out. How rude! So I hope you enjoyed this video more than she enjoys her new enclosure. If you did, thumbs it up and comment something. If you want to support this channel even more, there's a Patreon page. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe and also hit that bell icon because apparently a lot of you are not receiving my new videos. Anyhow, I upload every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, so see you again soon. Bye!